The club is just fantastic.
Club's wild, right?
It was so cool.
It's a dream, dude.
I know. And
it's a dream that I didn't even have. I didn't even have that dream. I didn't want to own a club.
Yeah, no comic goes into it going, I want to own a club.
Yeah.
And then you do it. But it was an interesting thing. Like, I had this weird sensation. I said yesterday about it. It's just like, I'm like proud of you, but I don't mean that in like a, I don't know, patronizing way. Like, I'm genuinely proud of you, but there's a specific thing, and I was thinking about this last night when I went back about the club. And you kept talking about like this way of like funneling and nurturing talent. You're like, yeah, these are the comics that are going to come up, and we're going to invest in these like local Texas comics, and then they're going to go do these shows around the world or around the country. And we're going to send, what is it? This is the Mothership. The Mothership presents, and it's in all these, you know, comedy clubs around. And I thought of the club, and I did both of the rooms, and the rooms do separate things for comedic growth that is really important.
Yeah.
That little room teaches intimacy and connection.
Yeah.
You can't just go up there and say words.
Right.
You have to connect with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes in big rooms, you can just say words. And you don't have to connect because the connection is a little bit off. There's a little bit of a filter, so you can perform, which is another thing you have to learn. But the small rooms, which is a lot of the times the New York guys that we get really good at, is like those laughs die quick. So you better tag up that joke. You better punch it up hard. You better make sure you're cooking. There's like a pace that you can kind of build.
Yeah.
So the small room, they get to learn how to really fucking put your foot on somebody.
You know, another thing that comes out of these rooms on the East Coast is the cold weather. Cold weather makes people impatient. They don't want to hear your bullshit. It's freezing outside. They want to go. Jesus fucking Christ. They get inside. Dude, they don't want to be lollygagging.
Mark was saying that same shit. He's like, if you even think about like music and like rap in New York, bar.
Yes.
And in the South, it's melodic and easy and chill and beautiful for both reasons. But I thought about this more, and then I did the big room first, and I'm not gonna be like, I was concerned about the big room.
You were concerned.
Because you said to me something about the big room. You were like, it was fun, but you said to me, you were like, it's the most honest room.
But you're honestly hilarious.
Yeah, but
so there's no issues.
But that word, honest, is usually used when like, let's have an honest conversation. It's never like, you're beautiful. Thing. You know, you know what I mean? Babe, can I be honest with you?
You're beautiful.
You're gorgeous. Like,
you're amazing.
That's never, right? So I was like, that's an interesting adjective to use to describe the room.
Yeah.
And then I went up, and it was awesome. And there was an energy, and there was an excitement, and the room was great. And it also offered this other side of stand-up that I think a lot of people that come up in the small rooms don't necessarily develop the skill set until they're on the road, which is filling space. And it was like, you can learn to step on them. And that's how I came up in New York, and just boom, 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 boom. And then you go do 3,000 seats. How are you going to fill that?
Yeah.
How are you going to absorb that? And I was watching Ron White go up there, and that's a perfect example of just like kinetic energy. You're just watching him fuck. He's like the Black Panther suit. You know what I mean? Just like absorbing everything,
Bro,
and then push back.
That dude hits and holds punchlines better than anybody alive.
Masterful.
He hits them, and he has a big ass fucking smile on his face. And
you know him and like Tony Woods. You ever watch Tony Woods?
God, yeah.
Those guys are masters at just absorb, and then like, I don't know. I just feel like if that goal is, which what you said yesterday is like really nurturing this talent and like creating comedians that can be great comedians. You've built a space that can do that.
Yeah, we built it specifically for that.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Instead of like making it so that there's big name headliners and you charge a lot of money for every ticket, instead of making money that way, what we decided to do was just don't think about that.
Yeah.
Just think about what's the best place to develop comedy, and how do we develop comedy properly? Well, one, you have to have open mics 2 nights a week. So we have open mic Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
And then we also have experimental shows with like crowd suggestions. They write them down on a piece of paper.
Bottom of the barrel.
Brian Simpson's show.
Brian Simpson's show, dude, that was. And then you get bits from it. Like the beauty of those shows is I think there's Jeremiah has one, the stand up on the spot too. Like, and it's like you get bits from that because you're liberated. Right? The audience knows that you're just getting this idea.
Yeah.
And that you're rolling with it. And
they used to have one out here called The Riff that was good too. It's a wheel. You spin a wheel and it would roll, and you'd like pick a card and it'd like land on a card.
Love.
That was a good move too. It's like the whole idea is to be able to it's like a premise factory.
Yeah.
It's just like pumping out premises.
Yeah.
And you never fucking know, man. I've had some bits that became like real good bits that I got out of doing those kind of shows.
Yeah, I don't want to say the one we were talking about yesterday, so you could develop. But that's gonna be one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's those feelings sometimes where you say a line, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be something. I really want to tell everybody. They'll hear it eventually.
Fun.
It's a good fucking line. Do you want to give it away? No, give it away.
I gotta keep that.
But it was just, it was just cool, man. There's an energy. There's an energy.
Well, everybody is working towards the right thing.
Can you talk about? I think you're gonna fuck the game up with the pay too. Can we talk about
Let's
that?
not talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. People don't need to know what people getting paid.
You are a good man and you care about comedians. I'll say that. You won't say it,
well, thank you
but
very
I
much.
will say it for you. And you're going to fuck some people up with this shit.